You ever have one of those mornings where the world just feels right and you can practically taste the peace in your coffee only for that sense of calm to be shattered like a bottle tossed off a porch? Yeah, that was me. I was minding my business on the porch of my granddad's old cabin, watching the sun work its way through the pines, thinking about how he built this place with nothing but calloused hands and a stubborn streak a mile wide. He always said, "Don't let anybody make you small on your own patch of earth," and I'd lived by that. Turns out, not everybody gets the message. It all kicked off with a bang, literally. I'm talking about a heavy-handed thumping at my iron gate loud enough to make the crows scatter and the bacon burn. I check the camera, see that familiar silver SUV, and wouldn't you know it, Karen, the HOA president, standing there with her clipboard like she's about to hand me a parking ticket on my own land. Mitch, her bulldog of a husband, is with her knocking on the bars like he expects them to open on command. I walk down, coffee in hand, and before I say a word, she's asking if the keypad on the side gate is still functional, like she's checking into a damn hotel. Functional enough, I tell her, letting the camera chirp for good measure. Then comes Joey, my neighbor, riding up on his bike, cracking wise about valet parking. Mitch rattles the gate, testing my welds. "Quarter-inch spring steel," I say. "You'll hurt yourself before you hurt my gate." But Karen's got that look, clipboard up voice in full performance mode. "It's just community cooperation, Daniel." See, here's the hook. Karen claims she reserved my cabin for a community event, waving around a forged permit like it's a golden ticket. Never mind, I'm not even in the HOA and my family's land got pulled out of the association years ago. She wants the cabin unlocked, lakefront cleared all for her 100-person catered retreat. I just stand there staring, almost impressed by the audacity. Cooperation usually starts with consent, I tell her, but it bounces off like rain on a duck. She's undeterred, flipping through her script, telling me about the notice she sent, which I never got because, well, she doesn't have my email. She's got vans pulling up, folks pouring out in boat shoes and sundresses, filming on their phones, ready for the party of the year. It's surreal, like someone decided to throw a wedding on my driveway without asking. I lock the gate with a satisfying double thud, tell her my property is occupied by me. You'd think that would be the end, but this is Karen we're talking about. She pulls out her permit official letterhead, fancy stamp, the whole 9 yards. The crowd oohs and ahs, and I see her banking on the idea that a piece of paper makes it true. But see, I've got my own paperwork. Back in the cabin, I dig out the deed, the county amendment, the ironclad proof that this land isn't part of their little fiefdom. I walk back, hold it up to the camera in the crowd, my granddad's name right there, bold as brass. This says the land is mine. The HOA has no authority here. Party's canceled. There's a beat someone mutters about sovereign citizens, but I correct him. Nope, just the boring kind, citizen with records. That's when Karen tries to up the ante, snapping her fingers at some guy to call the county. And right on cue, Deputy Cole rolls up, lights off, but making his presence known. He's young, straight-laced, exactly the guy you want when things start getting weird. Karen, never missing a beat, runs over and tells him I'm blocking access to a community recreation area. She shoves her forged document at him. He reads it, catches the bad seal, the phony QR code. He asks for my side, and I show him the real documents. Cole calls dispatch, checks the records. The radio crackles, the land is mine. Exempt, no permits on file, case closed. The deputy hands Karen back her permit with void scrawled across it in red. "You're on your own property, sir. You're within your rights." The air goes out of Karen like a popped balloon, but Mitch, he's just getting warmed up. The crowd starts to scatter, some folks filming the scene, some just pissed about their ruined Saturday. I can see it in Mitch's eyes, though he came for a confrontation, and he's not leaving until he gets one. Deputy Cole is busy moving cars, and in that split second, Mitch feints left, then throws a sucker punch right through the bars, catching me on the cheek. There's a sickening thud. My head snaps sideways, but I don't go down. The whole thing is caught on camera, 3 angles, full audio. It's the dumbest move he could have made. Cole turns, sees the aftermath, and in about 2 seconds, Mitch is cuffed and up against the gate. Karen shrieks, "He was defending my honor." But Cole isn't having any of it. Reads Mitch. His rights walks him to the cruiser while the crowd, what's left of it, films the perp walk. Karen's power evaporates, replaced by the cold light of reality. Joey, my neighbor, shrugs and says, "Switching from potato salad to your side after that punch, man. Small victories, right?" EMS checks me out, just a bruised cheek, nothing broken. Rose, the nurse next door, takes over, sitting me down in my kitchen with a real ice pack, and that look only nurses have when they see grown men doing something stupid. She tells me to document everything, get a restraining order, and not let my guard down, because folks like Karen don't quit, they escalate. We sit there filling out paperwork, her calling a paralegal friend, me realizing for the first time that maybe you can build a fortress, but it's better when you've got allies inside the walls. I barely sleep that night, replaying the punch over and over. Just when I think it's over, I spot movement on the cameras. A box truck lights dimmed, pulling up at the property line. Catering crew setting up a whole event tent and chairs right on the public easement, not an inch onto my land, but close enough to spit. It's Karen's next move, a spite party on my doorstep. I film the whole thing, every timestamp, every license plate, then call the sheriff's non-emergency line. Another deputy comes out, takes one look, and starts writing tickets. Illegal dumping, obstructing a public right-of-way, the whole works. The county impounds the gear at dawn. By breakfast, the party's been dismantled, the board's left holding the bill, and Karen's little power play backfires in spectacular fashion. Now this is where the twist comes in, a little bit of poetic justice. See, I start digging through my old files, the newsletters and mailers. The HOA never stopped sending me by mistake. Tucked inside one from 3 years ago is a line straight from the old president confirming in print that my parcel is private, not HOA property. It's the smoking gun proof that Karen's whole charade was built on a lie she knew was a lie. But it gets better. An anonymous email lands in my inbox pointing me to the meeting minutes where Karen herself documented the sale of my property, and a leaked chain from the HOA's own lawyer flat out warning her to drop the whole plan. She'd been told explicitly that she had no authority, but did it anyway. With all that, my lawyer, Miss Patel, sharp as they come, sends a demand letter to the board, lays out every fact, every document, every receipt. The board panics, holds an emergency session. Karen tries to bluff, but the evidence is too much. They strip her of her powers, ban Mitch, and crawl to the table begging to settle. I didn't want money. Well, not much. What I wanted was a permanent legal and very public acknowledgement that my land is mine and always will be. The settlement is ironclad, an official county-recorded document barring the HOA from ever coming near my property, again reimbursement for every penny, and a printed retraction in their newsletter for all to see. The final showdown plays out at my gate. Deputy Cole delivers the restraining order to Mitch. Karen stands there, stripped of her power, and I hang a laminated copy of my deed on the gate for the world to see. The neighbors watch, some clap, most just look away, but everyone knows how it ends. Karen and Mitch walk off, heads down, no more bluster, just silence. A week later, peace has returned, deeper and more real than before. I sit on my porch, coffee in hand, watching the lake, the gate standing tall, a promise kept. Rose joins me, her presence quiet but solid, and for the first time I realize it's not just about holding the line, it's about knowing when to fight and when to let the evidence speak for itself. So, what do you think? Did justice win, or is this just how community conflict plays out when stubbornness meets entitlement? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about boundaries law and what it really means to stand your ground when the world comes knocking. If you've ever tangled with an HOA or just had to defend what's yours, share your story. Where do you draw the line?